Cutter's Degrassi Unpopular Opinions. Hey there, hello there, hello there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to another Cutter's Degrassi Unpopular Opinions. And I know that I've settled through a lot of Degrassi Unpopular Opinions to do with the Rick Murray situation. I'll tell you about the ones I've done in this playlist. About the first one was about the students being blamed, should be blamed about Rick's bullying because, they bullied Rick to submission and missing the point of things. Emma with Sean in season 4, after the shooting, that Emma probably wanted to be with Sean because, he saved her life. And then, Spinner with the redemption arc after getting Jimmy shot at. I talked about why people couldn't, I don't know why nobody stopped Rick despite having a chance to stop Rick from his terror and all that. Raj's gripe with Emma because Raj basically was upset that Emma with her silly crusades in season 4 and how that led to things. Egos in the aftermath, I talked about if Jay or Raj had the worst ego in the aftermath, and I think Jay was. Alex's role in the Rick Murray situation, I talked about that and why, it was a missed opportunity for her. I talked about season 4 deleted scenes. I always talk about how, why the heck did they not put the deleted scenes that Raj tries to explain away Terry's absence in Mercy Street and how, Spinner almost got himself in deep trouble with Radich because he called Rick a chicken boy and Time Stand Still and all that. I talked about basically a lot of other stuff. I did an unpopular opinion about why Spinner should have kept his mouth shut. And if Spinner had kept his mouth shut in the whole Time Stand Still thing, because remember, Time Stand Still Part 2, he brags to Jimmy about the chicken boy stuff and all that. Basically, how that could have saved Jimmy from trouble. The school board in season 4, did they have some issue? Were they at fault for stuff that happened in season 4? I did a full one about Rick should be more sympathetic, and I said it's a gray area. There are some, he would be sympathized. I would sympathize with him, except for the fact that he brought a gun to the school. Also talked about Jimmy, why he didn't go after Jay and Spinner, either suing them for money or telling the cops on them. I guess because, that Jay and Spinner would not have been punished probably. I don't know. I did an unpopular opinion about Rick's dad. Was he the reason why Rick had a bad temper? And I said no. Because basically, no, I doubt that was it. Talked about Raj's hate should be lower to do in the aftermath of the shooting. Basically, that a lot of stuff wasn't all Raj's fault. And I did one about Emma was not the straw that broke Rick's back. When Rick was burned by that kiss by Emma, basically it wasn't Emma breaking the straw. Basically, it was just the fact that, he was embarrassed and all that. Maybe it broke him, maybe it didn't. So anyway, this one is about the Degrassi unpopular opinion about Emma's involvement in the Rick Murray situation. Now, a lot of people will be like, why did Emma even get involved in this? So basically, I saw this post a couple of weeks ago. And for context, this is being taped on March 19th, 2021. So 2 weeks ago, said Emma versus Rick. And this person, OK Sis, said this. So I'm rewatching again. And I get to season 4. And there's so many problematic things. But what bothers me the most is Rick's storyline. Emma starts the Rick bullying not because she cared about Terry, but because she lost her friends, so she wanted new ones. She advocates for nonviolence, and she throws Rick out of the dot, and it's just a POS, or piece of shit. Then she saves him from getting beat up. She just wants all the attention, in my opinion. Emma sucks. Now, I made some points, and I got a lot of Reddit points on it. But basically, someone wanted to know why Emma lost her friends again. I'll get to that when I basically get to why this is important, the lead up and all that. And Desert Bloom said, I guess so, but no matter what, Rick was an abusive dude from the start of season 3. It's always weird for me to see people try to defend him. Bullying or not, he was going to do something like this eventually, in my opinion. OK Sis did say, I'm not defending Rick at all. But what I hate is Emma acting like she actually cares that much about Rick hurting Terry, when she actually just wanted to hang out with Paige and them because she wasn't friends with Manny at the time. And Desert Blooms also said, at the beginning of the episode, Emma was coming out the doors and she gets nosy and hands around Paige. And everyone thinks it's weird how Rick is back and all that. So basically, before I get to my comment about it and explain myself, here's what happens. So basically, in Mercy Street, which is the third episode of Degrassi, if you count the season 4 premiere as both parts 1 and 2 as one episode, because you got the 2-part episode and then you got something in between, and then you got Rick and Emma talking. But I think they said the 4th episode. But you know, if you make it if Paige's rape storyline was 1 hour in the start of season 4, then basically that counts as one episode, and that's the 3rd episode. But people call it the 4th because it got split into 2 half hours. So basically, Paige and her clique are upset that Rick is back in school shaking Ratchet's hand, and Emma happens to come through the doors and asks what happened, and they all explain about how Rick put Terry in a coma and all that. You said, remember Terry McGregor, who was put in the coma? He's the psycho who put her there. And then basically Emma said that we need to do something about this. And I think Spinner warns Emma that he's failure. He's a grade 10, so basically he's coming after you, Emma. And then, Emma is upset that, Marco and Alex, who are the student council president and vice president, couldn't do a damn thing about it. Raj seemed to not want to get involved for some reason. But basically, Emma decides to step in front of Rick, block his path to his locker, and Raj basically tells Emma to buzz off. And Emma says, we don't want him at the school. And this is not part of your stupid crusades and all that. So basically, Radich is like, as I said, when Radich and Emma, does he have a gripe against Emma? I think he does, in a sense, because, I mean, after all, in season 2, she called him out for his tyranny or whatever, his policies about the food fight situation. Now, don't get me wrong, Emma does deserve some blame in the food fight episode, like overreacting, but Raj basically overreacted too. And as a principal, you're supposed to show vibrancy, and basically, his way of manifesting things is that basically you have to punish the students so that basically they'll learn and fall under your guidance. And I think because Raj learned that some of the students are not taking him seriously, he blames Emma for it. Of course, this is, Raj's thinking from the 1980s and all that. Now, don't get me wrong, Simpson does that too. So basically, Emma gets involved, and then Emma sees Paige run to the bathroom crying because, Rick asked her a simple question, how's Terry doing? And Paige couldn't handle it. So Paige and Emma come up with the idea they have to get Rick back somehow. And they decide, but I'm going to be sipping some stuff with Paige at the dot and going with Paige's clique and all that. So basically, Rick comes up and he wants Paige to know that he's going through therapy. He has to see Solveig, and basically he's trying to get better, but people don't like him. And then basically he talks to Emma and then tells Emma that you can't threaten me. Raj says I'm hands-free. Yeah, but that's at school. You're outside school grounds, and basically pushes him out of the dot. And everyone's impressed how Emma is handling Rick. Well, of course, they did the Orange Ribbon campaign, and, Emma feels happy. Unfortunately, what happens is that the students take this as a way to bully Rick around. I mean, yeah, he's an abuser and all that, and yeah, he deserves some kind of retribution. But the fact of the matter is that, Emma did this. Rick recognizes that maybe if he buys Emma off with money for domestic violence, then Emma might be sympathetic towards him. Before she takes the check, Alex rips it up, and basically Emma says, geez, you don't know much about this cause. Because I have said in previous years' videos that basically Emma wasn't going to take the check, but I think I'm wrong, obviously. But Alex tears Emma a new one and basically tells Emma in front of Paige's clique that basically Emma is showing some sympathy towards Rick. Paige tells Emma, you better not be wussing out on us. I'm not. And then to prove it, she trips Rick in the dot. Rick goes up to talk to her, and then the boys think that he's going to beat up on Emma because Emma shows some gumption. So basically, they beat him up. Alex is ready to punch Rick a new one, and then all of a sudden, Emma basically steps in and saves Rick's hide. Unfortunately, everyone thinks that she's being a hypocrite. They basically say that her cause is basically over, and basically that Emma will be persona non grata. Basically, Emma is left without many friends and all that. She does tell Rick that you shouldn't come to the school because they're not ready to forgive you. But Rick is not deterred, saying that they'll find out I'm a good person one of these days. So basically, Emma gets involved in this. Well, time stands still. She has to get involved because Rick is upset over the fact that Jimmy's on the Wacky Brain team, or Reach for the Top if you're a Canadian junkie like myself. Well, of course, I'm from Canada. What else do you know? So basically, Emma has to deal with Rick complaining about Jimmy and basically tells Rick, go to Simpsons. Rick says, no, I don't want to get that. So Rick goes to Raditch. She doesn't get his answers, but thankfully, I guess unintentionally, because Toby got hurt from Spitter and the group trying to beat up on Rick, that he basically tells Jimmy that basically they're beating up on Toby and that they're going to get to him through Toby. Jimmy then turns the other cheek, and Emma sees this. So basically, Rick tells Emma, oh, thank you for saving me, blah, blah, blah. And then Rick does the hand holding and the, this is for you, creepy stuff. So anyway, yeah. So Emma is perturbed. And then she tries to calm Rick down after being pain and feathered. But Rick basically kisses her and is not happy when Emma tells him that she pitied him. That's why she protected him, not because she liked him. So after going after Jimmy, he figures he might as well go after Emma. But unfortunately, Emma, Toby, and Sean just had to turn towards Rick and all that, walk towards Rick in a sense. And then Rick wants to destroy Emma for spurning his advances, and basically that Emma wanted to destroy Rick once and for all, and that Emma will die for it. Thankfully, though, Sean saves the day by wrestling with the gun, and the gun goes off, killing Rick. I don't think that was the intention. But basically, Rick died. Emma basically is upset over it. She doesn't seem to be hurtful. Well, when they see the 6 o'clock news with the Isaacs family, basically she doesn't really say much. But then again, on the Monday after everything happens, she runs into Snake's room and bawls because everyone is staring at her. Because now they'll know about Emma and all that. And now Rick wanted to kill Emma. And basically, she thanks Sean for saving her. And basically, I think falls for Sean because he's willing to protect her. I mean, she would have done that for Toby. And Toby could have had some good storylines. But basically, Toby was shot on basically after season 4. And I do maintain this thing stating that basically the students some students would probably never have cared if Emma had been dead and all that. Because, Emma basically protected Rick. And in most people's minds, Emma is unforgivable. So anyway, what I wrote in this whole thing is that I said, Emma gets a lot of flack for starting the bullying towards Rick, but that wasn't her true intention. Paige and her clique were upset that the administration refused to listen to their concerns about Rick coming back to Degrassi, and they knew that Emma was the cause girl. So they planned a silent protest around orange ribbons to get Rick out of Degrassi without breaking rules. Emma had no inkling that the campaign was used by the students to destroy Rick once for all. And yeah, she was trying to gain a new friend group and did some wrongful things. But in the end, she realized her campaign isn't being used to help victims of domestic violence. It's just making things worse. Her morality cost her Paige's group and left her high and dry with Toby and Rick around her. But she couldn't be a villain. Emma blamed herself for Rick's bullying. That's punishment enough. Although that led to a character reset that was too premature and basically because the old Emma would never have been around Peter in season 5. Okay, so what I meant by that is basically, as we all know, and I forgot to mention this, of course, is that Emma was upset that Liberty wanted to go after Chris. And Emma basically, just like when Sean found a flame in season 3, was a little bit angry. I think maybe Emma was upset that Chris was moving on so quickly without her. So basically, she wanted to destroy Chris. But then again, her own personal thing, saying, if Chris is with Liberty, then basically people will laugh at me not being with Chris. Unfortunately, though, that gets her the scorn of Liberty and Manny. Although I do maintain that Manny probably was pushed into this by Liberty. I think Manny wanted to hang out around Emma. But yeah, Emma lost her friend group and basically went into Paige's clique. I know for all the wrong reasons because, she wanted to be popular or she just wanted a friend group. And she just wanted to be the better person and stick it to Manny and Liberty saying that I don't need you guys at all. Unfortunately, in season 9, we soon learned that basically Emma was falsifying that statement. But then again, she was hanging out with Heather Sinclair, Toby, Rick, and Jimmy. Basically, those were the only people she grew close to as classmates and all that. She wasn't close to Sean, I guess because she realized Sean had to do his own thing with Ellie. So yeah, I mean, Emma blamed herself and all that. And when you watch between Back in Black and Secret, those episodes, Emma doesn't seem to be that traumatized. But then again, Secret said that basically Emma was hiding it because Emma always bounced back and Emma just couldn't bounce back and she didn't want people to know that. But again, some people basically said that Emma, why is she not bouncing back? What the hell is wrong with her? All that. I still say that, Emma was upset at herself because, the Orange Ribbon campaign was used to destroy Rick and, all that. Emma didn't have a relationship at all in season 4. None. Zilch. Basically, by season 5, she tries to go after Peter, but still wants to be with Peter, even though Peter ruined Manny's life. And I mean, okay, they wanted to do a character reset, but basically that was the worst possible time. And a lot of people said season 5's writing sucked, except for Spinner's redemption plot. Because everything else seemed terrible. The JT and Liberty pregnancy thing was a good plot line. However, it just basically was told from JT's point of view and not Liberty's. And basically made Liberty a little bit of a villain trying to hide her pregnancy and all that. So yeah, a lot of people said, oh, Emma's a villain for taking part in this Rick campaign and she wanted Rick out as soon as possible. But, it was for all the right reasons because being domestic violence. But basically she said that violence against someone to do with the domestic violence just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. She got a lot of flack and she basically lost a lot of people. And I think Paige used her queen bee status to basically tell Emma off, saying that, why are you protecting this guy and all that? I don't know. You can blame Emma for all that, make her a villain and all that. But basically, at the end of the day, I mean, Emma's morality won out in the end. It may not have been the best solution, but, it made her at least someone decent to deal with. Think about it, guys. Think about it. I'm Jeff Diamond. Ado.